In the darkest corners of our world, there are places that chill the blood and freeze the soul. One such place is the now abandoned St. Margaret's Hospital. A sinister monument to a bygone era, its decaying facade stands as a stark reminder of its chilling past. Once a bustling institution, St. Margaret's has since become a silent sentinel, its hushed corridors echoing with whispers of its sinister history. In the years since its abandonment, strange occurrences have turned the once revered hospital into a hotspot for the curious and the brave. Tales of spectral sightings, eerie sounds, and chilling encounters have circled among those who dare to venture close to its forsaken walls. The midnight wind carries the soft lullaby of a ghostly nursery rhyme, the rustle of unseen patients shuffling through the wards, the faint echo of a surgeon's blade scraping against bone. But what truly happened inside the forsaken walls of St. Margaret's? Tonight we dare to uncover the truth. However, to understand the present, one must first delve into the past. St. Margaret's wasn't always a place of fear. In the heart of the city, St. Margaret's Hospital was once a beacon of hope and healing. Founded in the late 19th century, it stood as a testament to medical advancements and the human spirit's resilience. The hospital was a sanctuary where the sick and wounded sought refuge, a haven where doctors and nurses tirelessly worked to mend broken bodies and spirits. But like a rose that wilts, St. Margaret's glory began to fade. As the years trickled by, the hospital's once vibrant halls began to echo with whispers of something sinister. A series of inexplicable incidents started to tarnish its sterling reputation, casting a long, eerie shadow over its once hallowed halls. It began subtly, with patients complaining of unseen presences, of whispers in the dark, and of a cold dread that seemed to seep from the very walls. Then came the inexplicable patient deaths. People who were on the mend, suddenly succumbing to unknown ailments, their life force extinguishing as if snuffed out by an unseen hand. The staff wasn't spared either. Nurses and doctors began disappearing without a trace. One moment they were there, and the next vanished into thin air, leaving behind only a palpable sense of dread and a trail of unanswered questions. The hospital, once a refuge, had turned into a labyrinth of fear and uncertainty. Despite investigations and desperate attempts to dispel the growing fears, the incidents only escalated, the mystery deepened, and the body count rose. The once bustling hospital found itself shrouded in an inexplicable horror, its corridors echoing with the chilling tales of its inhabitants. Unable to bear the weight of its own haunting history, St. Margaret's shut its doors, its once lively corridors falling eerily silent. The hospital, once teeming with life, now stood as a chilling monument to its own haunting past. The once bustling corridors of St. Margaret's fell silent, leaving only whispers of its chilling past. In the eerie silence, it is said, the hospital's spectral residents make their presence known. As we delve deeper into the chilling lore of this haunted hospital, we find ourselves face to face with its unseen patients. In the dead of night, trespassers and urban explorers brave enough to venture into the decrepit building have reported encounters that would send shivers down anyone's spine. These are not your average ghost stories, mind you. These tales are woven from the whispers of the unseen, the specters that still roam these forsaken halls. Imagine hearing the faint, disembodied voices echoing through the empty corridors, a jumbled mess of words that give you the bone-chilling sense of being observed, of being unwelcome. But what's even more distressing, they say, is the sound of crying children. The soft, mournful wails that seem to seep out from the very walls, a heartbreaking reminder of the young lives that once filled the hospital, now reduced to mere echoes in the silence. But it's not just the sounds that haunt this place. There are the apparitions, the ghostly figures seen wandering aimlessly through the hospital. Some appear as fleeting shadows darting out of sight as soon as they're noticed. Others are more persistent. They linger, their spectral forms flickering in and out of existence as if trapped between two worlds. Each of these entities carries their own tale of sorrow and despair, their presence a testament to the hospital's grim past. Trespassers have reported feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness and dread, as if the very air is heavy with the weight of their untold stories. But among all the tormented souls, one entity stands out, the malevolent spirit of a former surgeon. This spectral figure, they say, is different. Unlike the others, he doesn't just haunt the hospital, he seems to rule it. His presence is more potent, more terrifying, but who is he? And why does he linger? These questions, my friends, will lead us to the heart of the hospital's haunting history. As we venture further into the darkness, brace yourselves for the tale of the mad surgeon. Dr. Alistair Crane, once a respected surgeon, is now the hospital's most feared spectre. In a world where sanity is as fragile as a spider's web, Dr. Crane's story stands out as a chilling testament to the fine line between genius and madness. Once a beacon of medical brilliance, he was the jewel in the crown of the hospital. His hands, skilled and steady, were believed to perform miracles on the operating table. But beneath this veneer of respectability, a dark obsession was slowly taking root. It started subtly, a borderline fixation with the human body's resilience. Dr. Crane began to push his patients to their limits, testing the boundaries of their physical endurance. Then came the whispers. Rumors of unorthodox procedures conducted in the dead of night in the hospital's basement. His colleagues turned a blind eye, attributing these tales to the stress of the profession, but the patients knew. They spoke of his maniacal laughter echoing through the sterile halls, of the gleam in his eyes that spoke of a mind unhinged. As his obsession grew, so did the horror of his experiments. The basement became a theater of nightmares where the line between patient and specimen blurred. The screams of his unwilling subjects were drowned out by the sterile hiss of his scalpel, slicing through flesh and bone. His frenzied search for medical breakthroughs morphed into a perverse game, a dance with the macabre. When his deeds were finally uncovered, it was too late. The once revered Dr. Crane had spiraled into an abyss of madness from which there was no return. His final act was one of chilling defiance. They found him in the basement, lifeless, surrounded by the grotesque evidence of his descent into insanity. His spirit, it is said, still roams the hospital, seeking his next unwilling patient. Beneath the hospital, in the cold, dark basement, the echoes of a gruesome past linger. The presence of the unseen is as real as the stone-cold floor under your feet. Here, in this underbelly of a once bustling hospital, the remnants of a bygone era whisper tales of horror. The stale air is thick with dread. Each breath you take feels like an intrusion into a world that's been long forgotten. This was the lair of Dr. Crane, the mad surgeon whose name still sends shivers down the spines of those who dare to remember. The basement, his sanctuary, where he conducted his spine-chilling experiments, away from the prying eyes of the world. A labyrinth of corridors, each more ominous than the last, leads you deeper into the basement. The walls, stained with the passage of time, hold secrets of the torment endured by unfortunate souls. The silence is deafening, broken only by the occasional drip of water echoing through the emptiness. The eerie quietness hangs heavy, amplifying the sense of dread that seeps into your very being. Every corner here is a testament to the surgeon's twisted mind. Rusty surgical tools, still stained with the dried blood of the past, lay scattered, a grim reminder of the torture that once echoed through these halls. The once sterile smell of antiseptic is replaced with the musty odor of decay, a poignant symbol of the life that once thrived here, now extinguished. The gloomy rooms, once alive with the cries of despair, now lay silent, their stories buried deep within these stone-cold walls. The air is thick with an unease that is almost palpable. You can't shake off the feeling of being watched, of unseen eyes tracing your every step, as though the spirits of the past are restless, unable to find peace. This basement, this house of horrors, is a chilling testament to the darkness that can reside in the human heart. It's a reminder that beneath the facade of healing and care, there can lurk a monster preying on the vulnerable. And in this den of horror, an even darker secret awaits discovery. In the heart of the basement, behind a hidden door, lies the true source of the hospital's haunting. Picture this, if you dare. A room shrouded in mystery, veiled in shadows and choked with the scent of fear that clings to the damp, cold stone walls. A place so secret, its existence is but a whisper on the lips of the unseen patients and the mad surgeon. Imagine, if you can, a room that has seen unspeakable horrors, where the very air is heavy with the echoes of terrified screams and pleas for mercy that fell on deaf ears. This is where truth transforms into terror, where the line between the living and the dead blurs, where nightmares are born and reality dies. This room, my friends, is the beating heart of our haunted hospital, the pulsating epicenter of all that is ghastly and gruesome. What lies behind that door, you ask? Well, that's a tale for another time.